Yeah, and I'm also trying to calibrate something that I can, we can hit and I can do. I think if we push too much, I won't ever be able to find it from take to take. Ratchard was a great loss to us as well. He had plans. Oh, yes. Your father could see that Lord Belfar's victory could mean to the rats for the honor of your family. I could try it again, more speaky breathy. Tell you what, I'm going to say it once. Ratchard is a great loss to us as well. All right, I got it. Oh, yes. Ratchard was a great loss to us as well. He had plans. Oh, yes. Your father could see what Lord Belfar's victory could mean for the rats and for the honor of your family. Okay. To us, lost to us as well. Lost to us as well. Ratchard is a great loss to us as well. He had plans. Oh, yes. Your father could see the Lord's Belfar. Your... Will you join? It seems like when I do this voice, I see spittle coming out on the book. So if there's spittle, maybe that means I'm doing it right. It's so forward through the mouth that like I'm. Okay, I see what you're saying. I got you. I'm so worried about trying to do the voice that I'm not communicating. Will you join? Will you join Lord Belfar? Will you lend your strength to the mighty hawk? Will you join Lord Belfar? Will you lend your strength to the mighty hawk? Will you join? Will you join? Will you join? Will you? All right, recording. Chapter 6. Radard's dark path begins. Deep in the dark hours of the night, Radard fought to conquer a changeless nightmare. For many hours he dreamed of following an ominous rat through a strange canyon. On either side rose cliffs, steep and tall. Far above them hung a pale red sky. The narrow canyon turned sharply, this way and that, folding into dead ends and many blind passages. Or it split in different directions, and the rat he followed would have to choose the right path. Each time Radard felt the choice was the wrong one. Never once had he seen the face of the leading rat, but the dream always ended in the same horror. At the end of the maze, a giant winged shadow reached its talons into the narrow passage and took the screaming rat away. Each time the dream began again, somehow Radard knew that the rat running before him was doomed. Try as he might, Radard could not make the rat hear his warnings. Radard was aware that he was dreaming, and he was aware that he could not wake up. Radard became convinced it was his father he was following. In the dream, he closed his eyes and concentrated on saving his father this time before he reached the inn. His paw reached out to stop Ratchard as he made the final turn. Suddenly, Radard looked straight up into the hideous grasp of the flying shadow. Radard woke with a start, thinking he heard voices in the main tunnel. The voice of one of his brothers spoke to his mother, as though preparing her to see a horror. When Radard entered the main room, he found his mother waiting alone. Then suddenly, 5 of Radard's brothers shuffled in, laboring around a cumbersome burden. As they set it down, Radard could see the crude stretcher bore the mangled body of his father. His mother screamed. "No, mother," said Ratfard in a low, hushed voice. "You'll wake the little ones." Ratjard lay motionless on the burrow floor, bloodied and pierced with deep wounds. The great rat had died on the way. The brothers' effort to bring him home only served to give their mother and Radard witness. "What happened to him? Who did this?" asked Ratnard. "Father was leading a new battalion of rats through marching drills when he was attacked by a guardian," said Ratfard. Mother squeaked back sobbing cries. Radard thought that someone should go to her to comfort her. No one moved. Then he could hear a pattering of many feet just beyond the entrance. Radard jumped to the ready. "What is that?" His brother put a paw on his shoulder and led him aside. "Spiders are outside the archway," Ratfard said quietly. "They've come for you." "For me?" repeated Radard warily. "The war is escalating." "Spiders outside the burrow?" "Yes, and someone else who wants to talk to you." Ratfard's voice dropped even lower. "It's a bat. And Radard, mind what you say to this one. It's von Nothgrar, second only to Belfar himself." Radard crept out onto the slope of grass. The view of countless spiders milling about his front door gave him pause. In the dark, their black bodies slid from brief outlines of starlight only to merge with the silhouettes of their companions. Later, Radard would become very familiar with this number of spiders, for there were 40, if they had stood still long enough to count, and this was a spider platoon. His brother walked over to a larger shadow and waved for Radard to come forward. "This is the brother I spoke of," said Ratfard, "the one old enough to enlist." Reluctantly, Radard advanced. The bat turned round and faced him. Its nose and mouth were beyond hideous. Its eyes, however, were full of a kindred intelligence, one that Radard felt he understood. "I am sorry for your loss," the bat exhaled in one long breath. They locked eyes. Radard suddenly forgot about the feeling of crushing sadness he had had moments ago. In its place was an incredible anger that he could use to accomplish whatever he willed. "Thank you for your kind concern, my lord." Radard bowed. His eyes never left those of the bat. "Ratjard is a great loss to us as well. He had plans. Oh, yes. Your father could see what Lord Belfar's victory could mean for the rats, for the honor of your family." The bat took a step closer, fluttered its wings, and cocked its head, saying, "Will you join Lord Belfar? Will you lend your strength to the mighty hawk?" Radard did not answer. He waited as the rest of his brothers emerged from the burrow. He wanted them all to hear what he planned to do. "Serving Belfar would give you satisfaction," promised the bat. "You would have justice." "Or rather, I'd have revenge," said something inside Radard. At that moment, the bat smiled and knew his ambitions. Okay. "I will join." Radard repeated the words of an oath after the bat. He held his paw over his heart, pledging, but only half listening to what he swore. He might serve Belfar, but he had a personal score to settle. At the end of the ceremony, the bat declared, "I commission you, Sergeant Radard." "Lieutenant," corrected Radard. "I have intelligence for Lord Belfar that no one else can provide, and I expect to be rewarded for it." Ratfard cleared his throat in disapproval. The bat smiled. "You must have something precious." Radard offered his terms. He would provide the name and location of a traitor and lead in his capture, in exchange for the immediate promotion over his brothers.
Who is this traitor?
Okay. Man, getting good at this acting thing.